We are loud, obnoxious, and completely inappropriate. Viewers' discretion is strongly advised.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Coffee Mug Show. This is episode 13, recorded live on February 25th, 2019. My name is Leonard. I am joined by two of my lovely co-hosts, Derek and Mark, but Mark is actually delayed right now, but we are joined by Chad again this week. Hello, Chad. Hello, Derek. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good. So, while we're waiting for Mark, we'll just go. If Mark shows up, when he shows up. If you guys are watching us live on YouTube and Twitch, you can join us in our chat room. Our chat rooms are open, so please join us and join us. So before we begin, so last week we had a little bit of a break because it was a holiday, and on Sunday we had our first show for Mark's Garage Tech. And who's ever tapping, can you stop, please? Because I can hear you guys. So Mark did his first show on Sunday. Derek and I were there, and it was a good show. It was 2 hours long. We are going to release the edited version and also the full 2-hour version of the video on Thursday. So stand by for that one. And his show is going to be will be released every Thursday. Time-wise, probably somewhere around in the afternoon, but we are planning to restream it in Twitch Thursday evening around 9 o'clock. So that was our weekend. How was your long weekend, guys?
I was with you, dude.
How about you, Chad? How was your weekend?
It was short and I was cleaning.
Cleaning? Has everything been sorted out?
Mostly.
Mostly? Yeah. Okay.
For our lovely viewers, going back to Mark's video there, lots of bloopers in there, fun to watch. Take a look. Lots of screws flying everywhere, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, we were doing it in his garage because it is a consumer related show. So we were in his garage in the middle of a windstorm, and the temperature just dropped in the middle of the show. So you can actually see the breath, the moisture from our breath coming out, especially on Mark's side. So it's pretty interesting. So let's begin here, guys. So our first topic today is Galaxy Fold. It's finally showing up in April 26th. This phone actually has 6 cameras and 2 batteries, with a low offering of $1,980 US. So when you buy this phone, you will get 4 different colors: Cosmo Black, Space Silver, Martian Green, and Astro Blue. So this is actually pretty. I don't know. I like it. It's pretty cool. This thing actually has 2 screens. So the first screen actually has a 4.6-inch OLED display, and it has a 21:9 aspect ratio with a pixel count of 1960 by 840 with a pixel density of 410 dpi. When you unfold it, you will get a 7.3-inch OLED display. Has an aspect ratio of 4.2 by 3 with a pixel count of 2152 by 1536 with a screen density of 420 dpi. It also has 12 gigs of RAM, 2 batteries, and also has 112 gigs of storage, but they did get rid of the SD card slot, so there's no expansion. And they also got rid of the 3.5mm headphone jack.
I did not realize that. Okay.
Yeah, okay, they did get rid of it. The fingerprints is in the side of the phone compared to the S10e. The S10e actually has a fingerprint reader on the screen itself. For the best part here, for all the selfie guys, for the selfie people out there, there's actually 6 cameras, 3 rear-facing cameras with 12 megapixel wide-angle lens, a 12 megapixel telephoto camera, and a 60 megapixel wide-angle camera. When you unfold it, you'll get 2 cameras inside and it has 10 megapixels selfie camera and an 8 megapixel depth of field camera. And if there's another camera in front with the small portion when you fold it, it has 10 megapixel selfie camera. So, gentlemen, what do you guys think about this new offering from Samsung?
I think overall it's a missed opportunity. I think so, and I have a bunch of reasons for that.
Okay.
Firstly, the headphone jack, I personally love it. Okay, I'm one of these. I want to have my headphone jack, and so I'm really against them removing that. In fact, I meant to ask, does the S10 have the jack still?
The S10 does have it, but if you, yes, the S10 still has it.
Okay, so the problem with the Fold is there's a couple things. For myself, I have a 9 Plus. Okay, so what is 9 plus 5? 5 in the bit? Is that correct?
Yeah, because the one that's it's a lot longer.
Right, I can't remember exactly, but it's a 5 and a bit, okay? So this one is 4.6 inches, right, across, which is essentially the size of an iPhone. What is going on with my phone? It is just blowing up like crazy.
It's Mark. Mark is trying to log in, but yeah.
I'm gonna mute it there. Okay, so my problem is that it's 4.6, which is fine for most people. I personally want a larger screen, and so where I think they kind of let us down are twofold. One, I think the batteries combined is what, 4,100 milliamps?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, so what a 9 Plus has 3,500 milliamps in it right now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm trying to find the specs out.
So you couldn't double the battery power because of that. And what takes up so much real estate are all these cameras. And don't get me wrong, I like taking pictures and all that, but 6 cameras. I understand the argument would probably be that you want to. Any angle that you're at, any way that you're holding the phone, you want to be able to take a picture, or you want to be able to take a selfie, whether it's open or whether it's closed. I get that, but you take up so much real estate with 6 cameras that a lot of other things suffer. I think one of the things that suffered there was the battery, right?
Yes.
Because you have 2 sides of it, right? So I mean, I think if you think reasonably about when you have the phone and you open it up, or those 3 cameras in the back are fine. You have 3 cameras, no problem. Perhaps when you have one in the front and then one in the back, that makes 4 perhaps you would need. But there's a lot of cameras there, right? That's taking up way too much real estate. Second problem is that when you open it up, you get, what was it, 7.2, 7.1?
If you open up, you get if you unfold it, there's 2 cameras inside. There's 10 megapixel for selfie and another 8 megapixel for depth of field camera.
Yeah, but the length of the size of the screen is like 7.1, I believe, or 7.2.
The inside one is a 7.3 inch.
7.3. Okay, there we go. If you took an S9 Plus and you did the same thing to that, think of you would have almost tablet size. That would almost be close to 10. Right? It'd be like probably 9-ish, whatever.
You're pretty close to the size of the iPad mini.
Right. That's what I would look for, right? That's what I would want from a size perspective, because you're not sacrificing anything else in regards to doing that, right? And the other question here, the huge question, which everybody is going to have, is what's going to happen with that hinge, right?
Yes.
That hinge, and admittedly, the argument becomes maybe it snaps together, maybe you have to press a button, maybe you have to, but with any physical mechanism, after you've worked out for a while, it's just going to flop around. So say you open it up and you want to have a tablet view, and you've worn it around for a half a year, 6 months, 8 months, and you've opened it up and closed it several bazillion times. Now you're trying to open it again, and maybe you hit a bump on the road or something. The whole thing just flops back over. Third question is what about the screens? Are they still Gorilla Glass?
No, because the OLED itself, it's not Gorilla Glass anymore because they have to fold itself. Gorilla Glass don't fold.
Okay, so it's that new plastic stuff. Okay,
yeah,
right. I just meant the Gorilla Glass on the front, on the other side, not the folded side, right?
Probably still Gorilla Glass, I believe. They're not very. Again, I think everything will be released like full spec on the 20.
Right. So what you have is a 7.3 inch display, which is pulling off a 4,100 milliamp battery, and say you watch a movie or something. How big is a tablet battery? It's a lot bigger than.
Yeah, like for example, my iPad Air 2 should last me about. If I don't watch movies, it should last me the whole day. But if I watch movies, it should last me about 2-3 hours, 4 hours.
Right. I don't know. I'm wondering if this will last that long on a 41 milliamp battery. So, it's not really. I personally would like to watch movies on a tablet view if I'm using that. Right. You could have probably made, arguably put two 35 milliamp batteries on each side if you get rid of these damn cameras and have something, a lot better. Right.
How about you, Chad?
Point from a battery perspective. Anyway, sorry, Chad. I got
Chad, what do you think about this new phone? Would you consider buying one of these
for $3,000? No.
For $2,000 US, so it's about $3,000 here in Canada. So
I mean, it's cool that it comes in green.
Chad likes the green. Okay.
Yeah, Mark, welcome.
Be worried about like the flopping back and forth. How practical is that?
I have this feeling. Do you remember when we were growing up, when we had those flip phones?
Oh yeah, I had one.
Yeah, I get this feeling it's gonna be one of those clunky sort of like when you flip it, you hear the sort of like a snapping sound that actually locks it.
Okay.
I'm just hoping it's not gonna be one of those loud noise thing when you lock it, when you open it. Hopefully it's gonna be a nice gradual unfold and fold. But I agree with Derek. It could be, I don't know, first gen tech sometimes is very sketchy.
Yeah.
Very, very sketchy. Mark, how about you? Welcome.
Well, hey guys. You know me.
Would you get one of these?
Of course I would.
Any issue? Remember, there's no headphone jacks in this one, guys. So, but they do, according to Platinum, they probably have the new buds that they have, because I know they released new wireless earbuds. So it's very Apple-esque of them. Hopefully it's not separated price.
You know what? I'd get it. If I had the money, I'd get it.
Does anyone actually use wireless earbuds right now?
I do.
Any of you guys?
I do.
Okay. All right.
I don't use earbuds or headphones. I rarely use headsets, earbuds, or anything like that with my phone.
So for yourself, you think about, you get a brand new set, you get what, 2,000 cycles out of a battery on that, perhaps?
Yeah.
So you're talking about what, 3 years or something that you might get out of, and it'll go down as you're using them, right?
Oh, for sure.
So then, now, admittedly, I'm gonna be honest here. For a wired one, you get a wired Apple headset, lasts me a year if I'm good with it, maybe, because I use them quite extensively and quite hard on them, right? But earbuds, and I'm not even saying about losing them, but connecting them, it's draining the battery on the phone, it's draining the battery in the earbuds. Like, I'm just not a huge fan of the wireless earbud piece, right?
I'm the same boat as you. When they get rid of, because I know Nexus and Apple has this USB dongle thing to use your wired earbuds. I'm not sure how much the Nexus one costs, but the one for Apple one's $50. So it's cheaper for me to actually get wireless headphones than using a wired one. With that note, though, they do provide a wired version of the Lightning port to their head in their earbuds. It does sound good, or it is what it is. It does sound good, but I learned my lesson that when I was flying to LA a few months ago, I was trying to use the movies, tried to watch the movies. I forgot to bring my other headphones, so I couldn't plug it in. So it's kind of sucky. So hopefully the wireless will be a lot better. Which storage?
More storage.
Oh, we didn't talk about the storage. Oh, right.
Oh yeah. So
with the Fold, then here's the other piece: is that everything you have, and you can have up to 1 terabyte on there, which is wonderful. It's great.
Yeah.
But if you lose the phone or it's destroyed or becomes so water damaged you can't recover the data or whatever, you lose everything.
Not
With an SD card, you
necessarily.
can pull that out.
Well, no,
Yeah.
not necessarily. Don't forget, my phone, even though I have an SD card, a lot of it is backed up. It's actually all synced up to either my Samsung account or my Google account automatically. And that's the one thing I like about Samsung phones. They actually, when you set up your account, they actually have it all synced up already. And then you have to go in and turn off that sync if you don't want it to sync. Right? So even though you lose your phone, or now for my phone, if I have anything I saved onto my SD card, I don't get that back because it's not physically on the phone. It's actually on an SD card. Anything on a phone that is saved, it gets backed up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I think my scenario is more related to damage to the physical phone, or more specifically like water damage or something that is unrecoverable for the physical phone, not so much losing it. I take your point on the storage, but not everybody uses the online storage or syncing, and
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, nobody knows that it's actually being done for them, because it's like literally you set up your account, you turn on thing, and you switch over to your when you look into your settings for your accounts, it's actually everything got synced up. I'm like, oh wait, no, let me turn that off, turn that off, turn that off, turn that off. So it was already set up, and a lot of people don't know that until they start getting messages where, well, you're running out of room on your Google Photos.
well, I mean, but I think I'm more relating to the scenario of even yourself by dropping your phone for 40 feet off of a scaffolding, right? Like crazy stuff, which is great, awesome story, by the way. It was.
It wasn't a scaffold. It was a skyjack. I was actually on a motorized vehicle.
So the funny thing about that is, I think scenario-wise is that people dropping the phone, people dropping it in water. Although that's not as much of a concern these days. You drop your phone in water, as long as it's not going to the bottom of the ocean. You can usually have some protection on there, right? But if the phone dies, you lose all of that. At least with an SD card, there's the opportunity to recover something, right? And the fact that they've removed it, and I hope that's not going to move forward with another piece. And that's not to say the SD card can't fail. I've had SD cards fail, which really sucks. But if you get a decent SD card, they usually don't, right?
Well, here's the question for you guys, because all of you guys actually use Samsung. Would you guys prefer getting the Fold or the S10?
I'll get both.
Well, if you have one choice,
you
can't be too greedy.
Because it's out now and it's available for me to get. It's a pre-order and it's cheap. Well, it's not that much cheaper. S10 Plus, I think with 512, it's $1,600.
I'll tell you what, we're going to tell Samsung that we will review both phones. You'll get the Fold, I'll get the S10, and we'll do a comparison fight on it. Okay, how's that? So for Samsung, if you could just send a couple our way, we're happy to review it. Wonderful.
Real world testing.
Real world testing. I will give it to him.
Yeah, but no, I get. Well, again, I'm not saying I'm a Samsung fanboy. I love Samsung phones. Don't get me wrong. I even love Samsung TVs. Samsung soundbar. I'm not a fanboy, but I just love.
Oh, really? Couldn't tell.
It's just they make good quality products, right? I mean, it's the same thing with Sony. If Sony came out with a phone comparable to Samsung, I'd be going back and forth, right? I will stay away from Apple. You know that. I will never touch an Apple, like an iPhone.
This show is made by Apple, by the way, if you're wondering.
How's that?
Everything is actually made in an Apple computer.
What do you mean?
All the graphics and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you do your video editing on Apple. Okay, fine. Doesn't mean you can...
But no, I mean, like, yeah, you guys know me. If it's brand new tech, first gen, whatever, I'll go get it. I would love to test it, right? So and
Okay,
I'd love to, I would
here's a
love
little here's a little here's a little price check here, guys. According to Samsung's website, the S10e is the lower version of the new S10. It starts at $749.99.
Yeah.
This is US. The S10 regular is $899 US. The S10 Plus is $999.99.
starting.
Starting.
Yeah, that's
This
what I'm
is just
saying.
starting.
I think the 512. Actually, here I can get you a price right now. On the
Oh, right
512.
now the Fold actually comes with a 512 gig storage already in it.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. To be honest with you, I want to see this work because I see this as the future of like mobile computing.
But like I said to you before, you got to have a better battery. You got to have more battery power than 4,100 milliamps. That's just ridiculous on it.
So sorry. So for the S10 Plus with 512 gigs, you're looking at about 1750 Canadian. The 1 terabyte is 2210 Canadian for the S10
Really?
Plus. Yeah.
Wow, that's insane.
So that's why either or, I get either one. Like, I mean, I can get the S10 Plus with 512, $1,800. I spend a couple of, maybe I throw in $400 more. I get the Fold.
Okay, here's a comparison. The iPhone S X, the 5.8 inch, starting at $1,379 Canadian. The XS Max, the 6.5 inch, starting at $1,519. That's just comes with, I think it's 64 gig. I think it just comes with 64 gig. I think starting. Yeah, starting at 64 gigs. And if you want the 512, this is just for the small one. It's $1,859 already.
See, Samsung beats them out again. Price.
I wouldn't get the Fold at that price without the bugs being fixed.
Oh, I agree with Chad 100%. Would you guys buy this right now? It doesn't matter if it's a first gen buggy phone.
Not right now. No, I don't think so.
I would. Again, like
You're a fanboy though. We know that.
I just honestly, I've been. When did they first introduce this, or when did they first start talking about this?
Last year they announced at the Mobile World Congress. They actually announced this whole thing last week. Wednesday.
Yeah, I know they announced it, but it's been going on for a lot. Like them talking about it. Yeah, I think we were talking about this last year, right, when they first announced it, and it came out, like the announcement came out about the same time or right before the S9 got launched, if I'm correct.
Oh yeah, they were talking about having a fold-up phone for a while now. Actually, all the manufacturers.
Yeah,
even Huawei. What's his name? Oh, the Chinese phone.
Huawei.
Yeah, Huawei just released theirs, like in Mobile Congress, like a couple days
here's
ago.
the thing: compare Huawei's to Samsung.
The Huawei is bigger, better life, better everything, overall. But
What's the price?
it's actually cheaper. No, sorry, let me phrase that. They haven't announced the price yet because they just released it at Mobile Congress in Barcelona. So they haven't really released the pricing yet, but they did show it off already. And the initial reviews or initial people holding it, all the tech reviews, they said it's actually a lot better than Samsung. It's bigger, but the build quality, Samsung probably wins still. But they said spec wise, the Huawei is actually a lot better.
Do we have any comments from the chat?
Hold on here. Let me go through.
I ain't in the chat tonight.
Platinum was saying that where's Apple's foldable phone? Right now there is none. I did check. There's a bunch of like rumors, but I have to feel they're not going to do
We
that.
have to wait like 3 years, and then Apple claim they did it first, and all that kind of stuff.
They'll claim it to do it better, according to them. What else here?
Well, let's see. Forbes does have a article that came out today around 10 to 8. has been planning a folding phone since 2011 using this level of thinking. Yeah, so
That's from Apple.
Apple has been planning something from 2011.
So
Yeah, they've been planning for a
doing it
while.
for
They haven't
8
released these.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not gonna fold. They're not. To be honest with you, I agree with Derek. If Apple decides to do something folding like this, it's not gonna be released until like 3 years from now. There's no way they're gonna have something right away. If they do, they're gonna make this so elaborate. It's gonna cost us 10 grand to get one.
Well, they're already ridiculous.
No, it is true though.
Apple is losing its grandeur. It's
I know,
falling very quick there.
I know. Sucks. I actually got a question for all of you all from the chat room here. If you guys get an option of buying, if you decide to get a phone, would you guys willing to buy first gen technology or just wait for the second gen to come out? You guys are willing to accept all the issues for the first gen technology you guys are gonna buy, especially phones. So that's my question to the chat room. Would you guys buy first gen phone like the Fold, and hopefully that's gonna work properly? So leave your comments in the chat room, guys.
I think it's really a question of, does it have what you want? I mean, just because this is newest greatest thing, for me it doesn't check the boxes, right? That's why I wouldn't get it. Not that it isn't cool, not that I think that it isn't awesome, but it just doesn't check the boxes for me, right?
To be honest with you, Derek, I agree with you in a sense in that one because I'm a big firm believer of tablets. I use tablets a lot, and if I can combine my phone and a tablet and just unfolds, I'm definitely in for that one. But there are some stuff I agree that's missing.
But you also got to remember the technology that is coming down the pipeline, and I'm not sure who was presenting it. It might have been Samsung. It was more like a rollout paper, where you had. I think there was something like that. That I think is more a little further in the future, but I think that's where we will eventually move to beyond the smartphones. Eventually into that sort of flimsy paper kind of sci-fi kind of display. I've seen demo stuff of it. I don't know where it was at. It was probably some convention or something like that they were holding, but it was probably within the last year or two.
Yeah, probably CES.
Something like that, yeah. So when we talk, I think this technology is a stepping stone to that type of technology, right? Where you, as you say, you want to look at a newspaper and you just take a small ribbon of screen that you can unfold that's more paper-like in the sense of consistency in regards to thickness, and then you'd use that versus having a larger piece, and that would allow us to have larger screens with less volume, right?
Right now, according to the chat room, everyone's gonna be waiting for the second gen. Oh, except our good friend Platinum there. If they iron up all the bugs. If they iron out the bugs, they'll probably wait for the first gen. They'll do the first gen. Sorry.
I'd be curious with the Fold on gaming.
This
How
one does have a
practical that
line.
is.
This one
Yeah?
actually has a line, yeah, compared to Huawei. This one actually has a line right in the middle of the Fold. So you will see that line.
What, on the Fold?
On the Fold, yeah.
There's a line? Oh, I thought
There's
there
a
wasn't.
there's theoretically there's no line, but you actually see sort of a darkened area where the Fold is. If you
That's
actually
not good.
Google, I'll see if I can find it. But yeah, there's actually a line circuits that's spacing it, that separates it. But yeah, there is a line.
I didn't think there was. That's interesting.
Well,
I thought
theoretically,
this-
it's a full screen, but there's no gap, but you actually see where the Fold is.
That could be an issue.
Over
Hold
time,
on.
if there's
I'm actually taking a look at this right now. There is no line.
No, there's no line, but there's actually a very slight darkness in the middle. I noticed that during the demo.
I'm
And all
actually taking
the-
a look at the demo right now, and I don't see anything.
I don't think I
so-
saw any lines either. That's
Oh yeah,
nothing
here.
there.
I'm gonna put this on on our screen here. You can actually see the Fold right here.
No, it's just
Because-
looking at it.
Yeah, you can. It's from PC World. There's actually a slight darkness in where the Fold is.
But how old is that? Is that from this week or?
That's from this week. Yeah, that's the first time. That's the first thing I noticed when I saw the photos of the
Yeah,
phone.
no, but that device that they have, it was that pre-release phone.
No, that was after the demo last week.
Yeah, so it's a pre-release phone.
No, this is what they're selling. This is not pre-release anymore.
They're not
All the
selling
stuff-
nothing right now. It's only pre-orders. That's why.
Yeah, pre-order, but all the phones that they demoed are not demo machines. There's actually a slight darkness in that screen.
Because I'm actually.
If they fix that, I'm happy. If they fix that, that'll be great.
I'm looking at the one on CNN, and
Look at
there's
PC World. Look at PC World. This is like.
Are you bringing it up?
Yeah, it's on screen right now.
Oh, I can't see nothing.
Well, not your screen, but it's in the screen.
Oh my god. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, just click on PC World Samsung Fold. You'll actually one of the photos is actually just a line in it. So, but yeah, that's the first thing I noticed when I saw the demo. That's why if I decide to switch, I have to wait until second gen.
You're gonna switch from?
No, not really, no.
Firstly, we would be thrilled if you moved from anything other than Apple. We would all be thrilled here. Okay, so if you want to do that, we're fully supportive.
Yeah, if you're willing to buy it from me, yeah, I'll definitely switch. But yeah, so that's the Huawei doesn't, as far as I know, I didn't see any like crease. I don't know the best way to describe it. It's on their phone, but yeah, the one on Samsung has one. Mark, you could be right. It could be just a demo version. It's not. It's
Because
still
I'm
received.
actually I'm on PC World. I'm on actually PC. I'm not watching the video, but I'm actually on PC World's web page. I hope it's the same PC World. Folding phones aren't ready, and they actually have a picture of the phone unfolded, and there's no line down
I
the
can
map.
see it. I can see it right here.
Either that's going to be a serious issue or it's just a visual thing off of whatever picture they took. Because
Could be.
all of the demos I've seen, there
Sorry,
has not been any fold.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah.
That's the picture of the Samsung Fold.
Yeah.
No, that's not the one. That's not the one I was showing.
Yeah, no, it's not the one you were showing, but it's a picture of one, Leonard.
Yeah, it's a
It doesn't
picture.
have-
I agree, it's a picture. But guys, you need to understand that if you fold a type of an OLED, you're still gonna see something.
I
OLED
was watching one of the demos and I didn't see it. So I don't know which one you're seeing. Like seriously, I could not.
Yeah, you need to turn that off. Okay. Yeah, it's here. So. Yeah, John Phillips from PC World, chief editor.
John, I'm looking
Okay.
at Michael Steinman's.
Any other thoughts from the chat?
Yes, thank you. Platinum sees his crease. Platinum says not good. It's again it is just a wrinkle. Platinum letter with the fold makes you switch to Apple. Switch makes me switch from Apple. If they get rid of the crease, probably.
Man,
But,
if we go to a store and we look at one of these physically and there's no crease, we're not gonna let you hear the end of it.
I know, right?
None of us has found the crease here.
Okay, so let's move on here. Any last words before we move to the next topic? Mark, start with you.
I'm good. Sorry. You got me. Now I'm looking for this thing. But
Looks like Apple needs to iron some things out.
I'm sorry.
Looks like Apple needs to iron some things out first.
Yes, exactly. How about you, Derek? Any last word regarding this Samsung Fold?
That was a terrible pun, Chad. That was so bad.
How about you, Derek? Any last word for this for the Fold?
No,
No?
I'm good. I'm good. I said my piece.
Chad, you? Beside
That's
your
about
pun?
it.
That's about it? Okay. Our next topic here. This is actually requested by Mark here. Drone Delivery Canada is unveiling its 180 kilogram, 400-pound payload cargo delivery drone called the Condor. DCC is pleased to announce it's unveiling its largest payload cargo delivery drone with a 180 kilogram capacity. It's been displayed and been released to the public on March 19th at the TMX Broadcast Center downtown Toronto. It is a Canadian company, of course. So far, right now, it is going to be aimed for logistic companies like logistic providers, postal services, fire response, parts delivery, medical supplies, and e-commerce. So this drone that they're releasing, or they just released, is designed to say, like, if you're a delivery company, especially if you're delivering something like in a remote area, this is a best way for you to deliver your product. I think this is the next. This is could be an Amazon thing soon. So I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Are you guys ready to experience drones flying overhead, delivering products?
Mark had to say about this first.
Actually, you know what? I've been waiting ever since Amazon's been talking about this whole drone delivery. I've been waiting for somebody to come up something with like a solid plan. Now, when I was listening to the interview for of Drone Delivery Canada, they were talking about that they're going to be starting to test this out. Can't remember when, but they're going to start testing this out in the northern regions of Canada.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right, and it's more or less the trying to keep those communities connected to the main, like to the main cities, because trying to deliver things like, I mean, have you seen those shows like the ice trucker guys going across? Yeah. You know, it could save a lot of time, and it could actually save more lives and more, you know, and vehicles from getting into accidents and everything like that. So it's great. But my thing is now, isn't Canada launching new laws regarding drones and
personal drones only? Personal drones.
Only personal drones.
If you're doing a commercial or like this, like Drone Delivery Canada, they actually have a different license they have to use.
Okay. All right. So that takes care of that. But then again, there's also how far, like, what are the ranges of these drones?
Right now, the one from DDC is 200 kilometers.
It's actually fairly decent distance, but that's assuming good weather. That's assuming, you know, lots of factors involved with that, right?
Yeah, because you still can't fly this if the weather's bad.
No, you still rely on GPS. You're still relying on proper maps, proper everything. If you give the wrong coordinates where the package is going to be delivered, you're kind of screwed. Right?
You know, and the other thing with this is, for me, you know, I don't really see this as being a technology for in cities. You know, this is definitely rural and remote community stuff. You know, you're not going to be able necessarily to land a 400-pound drone, you know, at your front door for several reasons. Some people are on condos. Some people are on, you know, what are we going to have? Landing pads everywhere? Just can't have these come down on top of your head. So, and another thing is, if one of these fails, it's 400 pounds coming out of the sky from a couple hundred feet up. You're dead, man, if this hits you, right?
I can't see it happening like down Yonge Street.
You can see it happening. Well, you know, it'll catch on like power lines and so forth. And, you know, maybe if you have a dedicated area for parcel transfer. So say, for example, just for argument's sake, you know, they get a cargo plane in and they move several drones and they move it to another sorting facility. That could be a heck of a lot faster from a delivery perspective, rather than, you know, having it dropped off at my front door, because you have power lines in everywhere. And yeah, if I get a 100-pound package, great, wonderful. Where's it going to put it? On the street? It's not going to be able to fit in, the driveway after 400 pounds or something to that effect. At least not necessarily safely that I would see. So I see this more as a rural delivery piece. Like if you're on a farm or something, this is great. Drone can land in the middle of the field, no problem. You know, it doesn't really matter, right?
Or even in Alaska or the Arctic.
Yeah.
Well, having said that, again, we go back to the weather conditions, because there's more extreme weather is in those areas. And when we say extreme weather, did you say put a coat on it?
Well, from the chat room here, Gonzor the Third actually said that Gonzor did saw last week on TV that one of those drone delivery did caught on fire. They also comment that this is actually a very good technology, potentially good technology for people who's actually homebound, people with disability or couldn't go even leave the house itself.
Well, let's make that argument here. Let's make that argument. Let's say the drone comes down and somebody's. It depends what kind of their physical disability is, but the drone, unless it's going to land on the house or something to that effect, the question becomes if you're in a city or in some more suburban area, how is that going to work? If the person's disabled, then they're not going to be able to get out to the drive or something. So there's some other questions that need to be answered from this, from a logistics perspective, before we can actually say, hey, this is a great idea. Plus, with so many drones in the sky, and I know they're going to restrict it to a particular altitude, right? They're going to do that. You still have concerns around other aviation, right? And that makes it more hazardous.
Well, theoretically, right now, some of the drones that you can get in Best Buy they can go high enough and actually interferes with airport, like what happened in Gatwick in London and Dublin Airport.
Heathrow as well.
Heathrow as well. Toronto as well, actually.
Yeah, but those would even possibly, be some kind of malicious act, right? And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think that's where we are with that. It's sort of, they consider it a malicious act in order to do that. I think they can go up to a couple hundred feet, just the ones you buy at Best Buy. That have to be a higher end one, right? Is that correct?
All the DJI stuff, I think, goes out to 100, I believe. But after that, it just caps it. They do have GPS as well too, so but you can actually build your own drone as well too. That becomes a non-restrictive. It's your own drone, right? So that's why Transport Canada did put a limit on those drones.
Now, with these drones, what's the possibility of being hacked so someone else can take over a Purelator drone?
Good question.
Sorry, what was that? I did not.
Chad?
Can these be hacked? Can these be hacked, Mark?
Can they be hacked and someone can just take over a Purelator drone and do what they want?
To be honest, anything that can be remotely controlled can be hacked. That's to find out how. To have the equipment and to be able to find out how. Then yeah, it's. Again, it's all being controlled. It's all being controlled by frequencies, right? So
that's a big issue.
Yeah,
it is. It is a very big issue regarding emerging technology, especially in drone, with a very limited regulation. Anything can happen. But if you look at the underlying technology and underlying prospect of having technology like this, like drone like this for delivery, it is a very good idea. There is a lot of kinks to work out on, but to be honest with you guys, this is the future, right?
Well, they said flying cars was the future too, right? So
yeah, people can't drive on the road, so they'd be falling out of the sky.
Because again, and the question is, who's going to be controlling these drones?
Oh,
Are these guys going to have? Are they going to be properly licensed pilots?
Oh yeah, they have to. If Transport Canada has this way in it, you have to have your license for.
Yeah, but having said that, could they not, as we were saying earlier, automate this? So you put in the GPS, it raises to 100 meters or whatever, goes to whatever destination is, and does a landing sequence. Maybe you have a pad or something it locks onto, or something like that. But will these be autonomous?
Well, if you're gonna you have several drones flying around the northern part of the country, it's definitely be automated. Right, like you just put your GPS location where it's gonna be delivered, and it's gonna land, and after that, it's gonna take off and go back to the warehouse or the depot or the airport.
Though, but here's the thing: how are they gonna unload the package?
Whoever's receiving the package.
Well, see, that was my question, though.
How's you gonna know where to land?
How? Yeah, and then how would they know how to unstrap the package if it's some form of security?
Well, I
Would
got
they,
this
would,
feeling this
would it
drone
be locked?
delivery, if this kind of drone delivery, especially this big packages, I have
Mhm.
this feeling it's just gonna be like one of those. For example, if you need to deliver something to Alert Bay up north, someone's gonna be receiving it there. If you need to go to Whitehorse or you need to go to Yellowknife, right? Someone has to pick up that delivery. I think the concept of this is just to go from point A to point B without
Like a
any human.
distribution center.
But
Yeah,
having said that, let's think about that. Let's think about deliveries to those remote locations. Per pound for the amount of fuel that, a smaller plane, mostly it's smaller Cessna planes that get into these places, right? That they load those up with cargo, a few hundred pounds, whatever that might be, and then they send it over. From a fuel perspective or quote unquote a battery perspective, what is going to be better for pound, the drone or a larger plane that has more cargo capacity
Well,
on
of
a
course,
one shot?
it'll be the plane. Cargo capacity plus distance. Again, the drones, it stated that it only has a 200-kilometer radius, like a 200-kilometer flight time.
But having said that, is charging the battery cheaper than having, a 200-pound guy in a plane that has to support him and the weight of the cargo? Is that better economically than having him go up? Would 7 flights of the drone be as equal or less than the pilot taking the plane up or something like that? And that's where the business economy part comes into it, right? The
well,
e-commerce piece.
well,
Here's the
right
thing.
now this drone is actually uses according to DDC, they're using the next gen gas engine. Right?
Really, a gas engine?
It's a gas engine, yeah. It's not a battery operated. So, if, for example, just use an argument, it's a 1 liter tank of gas using this drone is using compared to a cargo plane.
I
Right.
actually take more issue with that because that's not a really sustainable business model, in regards to doing that. You
Then
want to
gotta
have
go to
renewable
your house
energy,
and
right?
Load up.
Sorry, Chad, what you were saying?
Then it's gonna have to load up on gas several times for a long trip.
But even saying that, gas in remote areas is very valuable.
Yeah.
You're going to
Okay.
set the thing there.
Actually, Derek, let's put it this way. Actually, I remember this because this was from a kid show that I watched years ago. The question was, which is better, which is more economical, a car driving kids to school or a school bus? So they
School
actually
bus.
did. They actually took. They had how many students go on the bus, and then they took the bus. One shot, 20 students was delivered. The car can only drive 4 students at a time, so it had to make 5 trips to do that. So even though it is a bigger vehicle and it has the gas tanks are bigger, the fuel economy used to transport 20 kids in one shot was cheaper than taking a smaller vehicle with 4 kids and driving them back, driving from one location to the other, because the car had to make 8 trips to in that time period.
Right.
So-
And so, that you're sort of making that argument coming from what is the cost benefit of these drones up north. And, what it will probably turn into is a premium service that's offered by Amazon, whatever you might be, blah, 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 where they could say, we can get to you anywhere. There'll be that argument. We can deliver to you anywhere, but it's going to cost you $50 to get the drone to come in, right? So something stupid like that, right? Some premium service that you have to pay for.
But again, it's like it's a premium service that we pay for now. Okay, well, do you want to wait 10 days for your package to come in, or do you want to pay $20 and get it the next day?
Well, I take your argument, but
It's like, again, it's everybody has that business model. Sorry, I just dropped something. Everybody has
Who's
like,
gonna beat Amazon Prime?
yeah, like what are you gonna pay? Are you willing to pay the extra amount to get your package faster?
out of everybody on this call, who does not have Amazon Prime?
Does not have Amazon Prime?
Does not have Amazon Prime.
Actually, raise your hand who has Amazon Prime.
But here's the thing, though. But have you noticed that we've been this concept of paying extra to get the package faster has been around even before Amazon,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
even
Oh, yeah.
before Pure Later,
Well,
even
express
before.
shipping, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, no, definitely. But I
I mean,
think what I'm thinking about is the business economy of the of what they're trying to do here, and how that economy or the e-commerce business is going to impact either deliveries or I'll even say humanitarian efforts too, right?
Mhm.
In doing that sort
Okay.
of stuff.
Actually, you know
Oh,
what?
yeah,
Let's use
I-
that. Let's use that then. If you're doing it as a humanitarian or even emergency, this model makes sense.
Yes, it'll get into areas easier than bigger planes or bigger vehicles. So yeah, like if I'm in a remote jungle, we're in a plane crash, and they can't get a vehicle to you right away to bring you supplies. Great, fly this in. It's there. You can get your water, you can get first aid, whatever. Right? You're on the side of your side of a mountain in the Rockies, and you're stuck there. They can get you stuff up there before they can get an actual crew up, right? So yeah, for emergencies and humanitarian reasons, it's a great thing. It's a great idea to have.
Okay.
So that one I'm totally down for.
Totally down for that one then.
Yeah, like think about it. Like you know, people are skiing out in Whistler. There's an avalanche. They can't get vehicles. They can't get a emergency vehicle up there. That's great in Canada.
So it's got its place and it doesn't. So it works.
Like again,
It's not
it's
for the
it's
city.
it's like with any technology, and this is what it's like. There's always a place for technology. There's always going to be its good and its bad, and it's just how people use it and how people will take it and implement it. Right?
So let's check the chat there.
So Platinum, going back to the bus example there, if the bus has to drive around the city and pick up all the kids versus a car leaving in each individual houses, which one is more economical?
Sorry, what?
Okay, her Platinum's comment is if a bus picks up all the kids in different part of the city,
Uh-huh.
like a normal bus does, versus an each car leaves their house individually to go to the school.
Well, if it's one trip for the car, right? And then they go to the school. Of course, the car is cheaper one way, like one trip. But the premise of this was how much can you load into one vehicle and flying it out? Is it more economical having a plane or a vehicle loaded up to capacity and making that one trip compared to a smaller vehicle doing multiple trips, which is more economical?
Well, if you actually Platinum's comments actually kind of valid in this one though, as the model how you describe it. If it's cheaper for us to ship all the package in one plane into one area, for example, airport to airport, makes sense. Plane will win no matter what. But
That was Derek's point. So
sorry, that's
what
Derek's
I was-
point. Okay.
That
So-
was what I was commenting on Derek.
Okay, so
So-
now if you look at the model of like even the Platinum second comment, is it cheaper for a car to leave from individual house and goes into a certain to school instead of the plane goes to either or?
So
Is it cheaper just to go straight to point A to point B? Doesn't matter if it's gonna be, for example, if you're looking at Calgary going to like Edmonton, to Red Deer, all that stuff.
But how many cars are we talking about? One car.
Well, let's just use.
One car picking up all the
No,
students.
one car to one student straight to school.
Okay.
Okay, if you look at the drone model,
Mhm.
if a drone leaves the airport, it goes to every single stop that needs to go to, compared to a plane has to go to all the stops with all the cargos. And remember, as soon as it gets to the location where the airport is, it still has to transport all the packages out.
Okay, that's in
Right.
the city.
No,
We're
we'll use city to city, not
Okay.
inside the
No,
city.
No, okay.
Yeah,
City,
well,
you
city,
want to
city too, yeah.
Okay, you want to go city to city. All right. So you want to take a bus from city to city to pick up a student to deliver them to one school.
or inside the city itself.
I'm trying to understand the actual question here.
Okay. So let me say this again. Okay.
So if we take the school bus route, okay, here's
if you take the school bus route with 5 stops picking up all the kids, right? Instead of having a car to drop the student off, like a 1-to-1 ratio, like house A goes to school, house B goes to school, versus bus goes to house A to house B to house C to house D, then to school.
Yeah, Leonard, but your model isn't being efficient, right? You could fit 4 kids in the car, right?
No,
You're saying 1-to-1.
That if it's coming from an individual location into one destination, instead of having a bus model. The same thing in the drone, though, right?
No. What you're doing is 5 companies versus 1 company.
No, we're just talking about one drone company here.
So one drone company. Okay, so one drone company. We got a school bus that will pick up 5 students. Okay, 1 bus to pick up 5 students. 1 gas tank to fill. We got 5 drones, 5 gas tanks to fill.
I feel like we're doing a math problem from that.
I know. Okay, let's finish this thought here.
But it is math, and you guys the way that you stated it, it's 1 vehicle picking up how many packages or how many students versus 1 car taking 1 student to school. So if we got 5 students who have to be driven to school, which are like 5 drones, 5 individual drones, you have to fill up those 5 individual drones. You got 1 bus, you fill up that 1 tank.
But theoretically, the drone's gas tank is smaller than the plane.
That's right, it is smaller. But who has a further traveling distance?
Theoretically, you have multiple. Okay, I understand that. But remember, a plane still have to go to an airport. The drones doesn't have to.
No. But again, with the drones, if they're talking about the northern regions, again, you also said it earlier in the conversation that is 1 location that they drop off and pick up. So if they have to have 1 central location to drop off and pick up, it will also be something that the drone can land at, which is actually, like, most likely it will be at the airport out in the northern regions. So because they're not, because you have to take a look at who's going to pick that package up, who's going to sign for it, who's going to unlock it, who's going to unload it. And again,
is the drone going to have multiple deliveries or just single delivery?
That's the thing, though. The DCC doesn't really say how this model is going to be distributed or how this delivery is supposed to be done, fortunately. So, but the underlying conversation we have in this one is the topic is this a very viable way to transport goods? I think that's the best way to describe it. It's, instead of like hiring a big plane, cargo plane, especially for items, versus a drone.
Mind you, here's the thing. Also, all delivery companies already have bought their planes. They're not hiring somebody. They have already bought their planes. So they're going to have their planes, or they're going to have that one Cessna out there that it's theirs and that they maintain. Because as a company, I would like a perfect example, UPS and FedEx. Do they rent out their planes? Do they rent planes?
No, they own their planes.
They all own their planes. Yeah. Canada Post, they own their planes.
No, Canada Post uses Air Canada and WestJet.
Well, Air Canada is and WestJet, but
that's a different topic for a different day.
Yeah. We'll bring a logistic person for that one.
Air Canada and WestJet. Well, here's the thing, because they don't rent the planes. Yeah, they have to pay whatever shipping. That's why we pay shipping charges to these, and that's why we have to pay for postage. But again, like major delivery, like Amazon or Amazon uses UPS a lot of the times and Canada Post. But FedEx and UPS, they all have their own planes.
Oh, actually, Platinum made a good comment here. Plane has overhead costs for like pilots, ground crew, and all that good stuff. Like big ground crews. Drones actually is very automated. There's no pilots. Theoretically.
But that's assuming they're going to be automated.
Well, it has to be. Just no one's going to be piloting 20 drones flying at the same time.
How do we know? How do we know that? Don't forget,
Well,
these are big. That we don't know yet what's gonna happen because
yeah, good point. Yeah,
we
okay.
don't know because Transport Canada says no automated drones. They all have to be manually flown. Right? Nobody has said anything that it's going to be automated.
Well, the question now is we have to ask this. We should definitely revisit this as soon as we have more information regarding DDC's drone delivery platform, because I get this feeling that it's nice to release a drone like this, but it would be nice to actually get more information regarding
Hey, trust
how
me,
this is
if
supposed to be flying.
if they haven't released automated planes and automated cars yet, an automated drone is. You know
So
what I
any
mean?
last I agree. Okay guys, we're running out of time here, so what's any last words, comments regarding the drone delivery services in the future, for the future?
It's like I said, if it takes off, great, and if it's used for humanitarian reasons and emergency reasons, I'm all up for it. Deliveries, I'm still sketchy because, again, I don't want a 400-pound package dropping on my head. We don't know what there's just so many variables that can happen with a drone, right? So.
Yeah, well, put it this way, it's CSA approved.
It is CSA approved, but guess what? I could be some stupid kid on the street with a BB gun. I see a drone, I'm gonna shoot at it.
Yeah. Okay, how about you, Derek? Any last comments? Comments regarding this drone?
I think I'm in agreement with Mark on this one.
That
I'm with him.
okay, Chad, how about you? Any last comments regarding the drone?
Yeah, same. It's got its place. Just I can't see it in the city.
With that said, thank you. Yeah.
So hold on. I have to go back to the Samsung Fold issue.
Okay, do it fast.
Okay, so it is not an. It is they're questioning it if it is an issue. It is not. Nobody knows for sure what it is. They are thinking, does it appear only on white content? Does it appear on certain angles? Because predominantly out of the whole demo, it was not seen. And then at one point, it was just there. So in regards to what Samsung has, they don't know. They don't know what this is.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Samsung's Fold first gen has a bug.
Oh, they don't even know it's a bug. You can't even say it's a bug because they're still questioning it.
It's in the internet. It is officially a bug.
Yeah. Did you read the full article again?
It's a bug.
Did you read the full article,
I know.
mister?
Yeah.
So
Or did you just skip through it and just say, "Oh, it's a bug"? But did
It's
you
a
read
bug.
the full?
I'm calling it a bug because it's not supposed to be there. It's a bug.
I got a question for Mark.
What's that?
Are you getting your Fold delivered by drone?
if I got a phone delivered here, you guys will never see me again. Okay.
Okay, guys.
All right.
So that was a good show. I just want to say thank you very much for joining us today. I just want to say thank you to Chad for joining us. Again, you're welcome to join us again for next week, Chad. If you want to join us, let me know. If you guys are, we do record this podcast live at YouTube and Twitch every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you click the subscribe button, you'll get a notification when we go live and when we upload new content. And I just want to let you know that Mark's new show will be released every Thursday. So just keep that in mind. So click on that subscribe button. You can also download this episode and any other episodes at your favorite podcasting application. Just search for Radio9 Podcasting Network. I just want to say thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week here at the Coffee Mug Show. At the Coffee Mug Show. I said, man, I thought I got it. Holy cow. The Coffee Mug Show here at the Radio 9 Podcasting Network. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye.